Hello, and welcome to Excel Highway. Thank you for using the Cash Flow Manager. In today's video, I want to share with you how to use it step by step. So first off, download the file, right-click it, hit Properties. You'll see in the General tab on the bottom, you have to click the Unblock. And now you're basically allowed macros to work. Double-click the file. You should see this ribbon, Enable Content, and you're good to go. So, at first, you take a glance here at the home page. You have basically the dashboard with 8 metrics for your cash flow, the expected inflow and expected outflow. So what open invoices, what is the amount that you're expected to receive or pay to your vendors? Your net position is the gap, the delta between them. And the balance this month, that's going to show you the net position or the balance, but just for this specific month, in this case, April. The overdue receivables and payables, those are the amounts that you need to receive or pay past the due date. And this is the quantity. So we have 5 open receivables worth $3,750 in this case. On the right, you have a watch YouTube tutorial, which will bring you to this video, so no point clicking on that, and a reset system that will basically allow you to start fresh and clear all the data. I won't click it now. You also have a reminder that all values are shown in the currency, in this case US dollars, and I'll show you in a second that you can change that. We also have 3 charts here. The cash flow trend, that's going to show you the inflow, outflow, and the net, basically based on the data. You have your cumulative cash position. So that's going to take the net value over time. So if you had a net value of 2,000 and here 1,900, so the cumulative is 3,900. And now your net is negative, so it drops. So that's the cumulative cash position. And lastly, you have the aging analysis. That's going to show you your receivables and payables based on how much they are late. You have the current, which means there's still time to receive or pay, and it goes to between 1 to 30 days, 31 to 60, and 60 plus days. So that means that there is $1,180 that you should pay, and you're already 60 days more late. So your attention. So that's the dashboard or the home page that you can see in the beginning and get a glance of your position. Next, we go to invoices. In invoices, you will see a table, or before invoices, let's go to lists. List is where you set up your drop-down parameters for the remainder of the file. Categories, payment method, currencies that you want to use, your fixed rate to US dollars, okay, what's the going rate, and the symbol for that currency. So you can add as many as you want. Make sure to have some sort of a fixed rate to US dollars and a symbol. Next, you have the payment terms, 714. These are in days. And you have a selected currency, which is basically these. So if I change to GBP, you'll see that the symbol change and also the values, 4,900. And if I go now to Euro, it will change again. And everything changes based on the currency, and it's based on these numbers, and you can see it later in the invoices. So let's bring it back to USD. So that's the list sheet. You set it up once and you're good to go. Entities, here's where you set up your vendors and customers. So you write the name of the vendor or customer, select whether it's a vendor or customer, what is the payment terms, again selecting from the list, and currency, again selecting from the list. So each vendor or customer can have their own default currency and default payment terms. So these are default values, but I'll show you that you can actually change them per specific invoice. Let's go to invoices, the heart of the system. So you have the blue columns and you have the gray cells. The gray cells are, as you can expect, formula cells. So it's best not to touch them. Now, to add an invoice, you click on the Add Invoice button. That's going to add a line and add the next number of the invoice. You don't have to use that. You can start typing and it will work as well. But I do recommend you use that just for sake of speed, and it's also going to take you to the right place. So I clicked on that new line, entity, that's coming from my list. It identifies it's a customer, it identifies the payment terms, it identifies the currency, whatever is already from that table. Then you have the details. Let's say new invoice. I can select a category. Let's say product. When is the invoice date? Let's say it was today. And here's what's nice. You see the due date is automatic. So it's 30 days because that is the payment terms. But let's say you want to give a different due date. Let's say it's July. So once you have a value here, it will override the due date. So that's why you can manually decide the due date. Moving on, you have the original amount. And again, this is the default currency, but if you want, you can use euro, and now it's in euro, even though the entity itself is defaulted to US dollars. And these are all calculated, so the paid, the balance, all of that is based on what you update in the payment section. And in the end, this will basically convert that number to whatever you set. So that's simple. You can, of course, delete. You can make adjustments. Nothing is blocked here. Payments, similarly, you click on Add Payments, but now you just have to select an invoice. So I'm going to select, let's say, that new invoice. I'm going to see the details of that invoice, the entity. Again, gray cells are automatic. So you can see all the data from that invoice just to make sure you selected the right one. You can change, of course, and everything will change according to your selection. So now I decide what is the payment date. Let's say it's also today. And the amount, I can see that the open amount is 3,500, so let's say 2,500. And payment method. And that's it, basically. I've basically completed the cycle. Of course, I have another payment due, or I could receive the entire amount. And I'm actually not blocking you from adding a payment which is more than the invoice, which is weird, but I'm not blocking that. So be aware of that as well. So that's the invoices and the payments. That is the entities and the lists. And if you go now to the home page, you see the numbers have changed based on what I've entered for April. So that affects also the balance and everything. And you can see now April is looking much better. Yes, this is good news for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you next time.